It's kind of interesting. Anyone that knows me well can see the irony in me introducing an Oklahoma State softball coach. It, it took a little while, but anyway, Kenny is California native, was on the 1994 OU National Championship baseball team, started his coaching career on the baseball side, moved over to softball in 2013 at Florida, under Tim Walton, and then was named Oklahoma State's coach in July 2015. So it's been a long time before I could introduce an Oklahoma State softball coach, and I'm really happy to do it now. So, Kenny, come on up.
Well, first off, thanks for having me. I don't have much going on this week, so it's a perfect time. I'm not sure if Chris planned that or not, but excited to be here. This is our 6th year here, and I truly found home. So it's been great. When I walked in here today and I saw the American flag, I was like, oh yeah, I think that we're gonna do the pledge, and it made me feel good that people are still doing the pledge and saying a prayer, and says a lot about what you guys do and what you're all about. So appreciate that a bunch. I'm just going to talk a little bit about us, and I want to open this up to questions and talk about our team or anything that you guys want to talk through. But one of the things that whenever I go talk, I like to kind of look up kind of what you're all about. And when I read the definition, and I'm sure there's a bunch of them of the Rotary Club, kind of caught me cool in a cool place, because it's something that we talk through a lot. But the first part of it is where neighbors, friends, and problem solvers share ideas and take action to create lasting change. And we were having a talk in our office amongst our coaches. We get in these, we're always talking about softball and watching film and all this stuff, and at times we get off in these weird streets that we probably don't need to be going down, but we do, just to kind of break the day up. And we were talking about, the way our society's gone, we need to have a degree problem at OSU on problem solving, because that's really what we've got ourselves into here, is can we problem solve? I know we have these kids, and this is no disrespect if you're a math professor or English or history or any of this stuff. All that stuff is important, but boy, our kids have really lost the ability to problem solve. And when I read this, it really hit me in a good spot. I was like, man, this is really cool, and it's exciting about what you guys do. And I know a few of you guys here, hopefully get to know a lot more of you. And I thank you for what you guys do for Stillwater and our country. We need a lot of help, and we need a lot of direction, and getting back to saying the pledge and prayer. And I think it's a big deal. So I thank you guys for that. I thank you for having me. When I think the best thing about my job is, I get to lead a team, and I'm lucky because I get to see these kids every day. And it kind of what I love the fact of you getting to like change teams each year. It's a new journey. It's a new, it's just a new ride. It's like getting a new car each year. And, how do you take care of it? And how do you, make it look like the best thing? And then inside of it, how do you make the people inside of that car or that vehicle, how do you keep them together? How do you keep them on the same path? Because that's really what a team is. And I don't know, you guys meet once a month, once a week. That's really cool. So this is your weekly team. And it's really cool. I'm actually shocked on that. Once a week. That's really neat. So you guys have something that you can look forward to each week. And it should be. And if you're not looking forward to this, then you're in the wrong club. You're wasting this club's time, right? And it's so important that you're investing what you can into this club and in this town. And so I just feel like leading and being a part of a team is one of the greatest gifts that any of us could have. I know that there's some individual sports out there, and some of you may be self-employed, and maybe you're the only one there, but it's not a lot of you. Most of you are on a team, and you rely on a team to help make your businesses great, and or your families, or whatever it is that you have on your other teams. And so it's really what it's the reason I love to coach. I love being on a team. I'm a person who likes some alone time, but at the end of each day, I love driving in, to that stadium there, and pulling in and seeing what this team is going to bring me each day. And I can assure you, it's something new, and something that you could just shake your head at every day. But there are most days where it's just like smiling. We smile a lot. We have a lot of fun. We're looking forward to seeing them, looking forward to what they're bringing us, and watching them grow. And as I think back, or as I think what's in front of us tomorrow, I think back to last year, in March, when our season was abruptly canceled. And I think it changed my perspective. It changed the lens I look through. And I think it's changed it for good, and in a really good way. It was maybe the hardest thing professionally I've gone through at that time. Selfishly, we're coming off a 2019 World Series run. We felt like last year's team was even better. And the season ends, we're in the top 10. We're doing things that hadn't been done here in a long time. It's been done here, but it hadn't been done here in a long time. And then to have that season end, and to try to keep it together for a lot of those kids and coaches and families, managers, whoever pours their heart into your team. I'm the one who's got to keep it together. And it just made me really, through that different lens, it really helped me to really get things in perspective, on what our job is. And unfortunately, my job is very little softball. It's a lot of other things. It's managing people. It's managing the craziness that comes along with coaching 18 to 22-year-old girls. And I wouldn't want it any other way. I used to think I would never coach a girls sport in my entire life. I was like, there is no chance. And I would never change it from this point on. It's just been one of the best things I've done. Thank you. Yeah, I sincerely mean that. I just, these girls, that the joy that they bring our staff is off the charts. So yeah. So when we talk about teams, I just think that you guys don't take for granted what you have here. You guys, this is one of your teams, and the beauty of our lives is now we've got these cell phones and iPads and computers and everything at your fingertips, and we forget about the people that are right around us. I have to stop and tell our kids that, I tell them that stuff a lot when we go to a team meal. There's no phones, and it's not like I'm taking them all up in a box. I just keep your phones in your pocket and enjoy the people around you, because it seems like we get less and less of that as our society changes. So enjoy the people that you're that are here, that you're around at work, and figure out a way to make those days count, because that's something that from last year that really hit me in a way. I just took for granted that I'm going to coach, and that I'm going to have a paycheck, and that we're going to continue to be good. All that just stopped. And really, we didn't know anything. And I'm thankful I'm here. I can tell you that. I'm thankful that I have the leadership that I have. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's hard here. It's not easy, but I really don't think I'd want it any other way. And I enjoy that. I enjoy it because when things are going good, it's the best taste that you could ever have. It's the best feeling that you could ever have. And when things are constantly just handed out, it's just not the same. So as I think about this year and our team, man, we've had just another great year up to this point. I would tell you that this is a lot better team than 2019. And about 8 weeks back, we were playing okay. We're winning a lot, but not playing well. And somebody asked me, you said at the beginning of this year, this was by far the most talented team that you've had, but you're really not hitting. And your defense is okay. You're pitching well. And it kind of hit me that we hadn't done enough work with our team and just making sure that the team is in a good place. I think we were so focused on softball and everything that comes along with that because we got to play again and we just you just love to play that I think I took for granted the fact that they were just doing the team stuff that teams do to become great. It's not all done on the field. A lot of it's done off our field, where they come together and love each other. And it kind of hit me at that point that I needed to focus on our team and start picking them off one at a time and finding the little thing that was keeping us from being great. And that's really probably what my strength is. I'm probably the third best coach. Well, I'm probably the fourth best coach on this team. With the guys and the girls that like I've got. But I think the one thing I do best is read people and manage them. And so I thought, you know what? They've let me hire a great staff here. I need to do what I do best. And that was let go of a couple things, let them kind of take over in the hitting and the pitching and the defense. And I need to manage these kids and manage the staff. And what was kind of interesting is as I got to the root of this, it was really just people not wanting this thing to end. And when you start hearing that, it kind of makes you go, woo, that's kind of deep because they're sitting here going, man, I've got 12 weeks left and I don't want this to end. They're really having a blast, but they're afraid to just let it go and afraid to just leave that out there. And we think of these athletes as being these invincible type kids and nothing scares them. They don't have fear. They have as much fear as you guys have every night when you go to bed and you wake up. It's fear is real. And how you get past that is facing it. And, I started off with our ace, Carrie. I could see that she was having a rough day and I kind of pulled her aside after I watched it for a while. And I said, what's wrong with you? She goes, I just don't want this to end. And I was like, okay, it's the third person I've heard this from. So this is obviously real. So we just started talking about just absolutely enjoying every single moment. I call it enjoy the suck because in our game, you suck a lot. You really do. Hitters, they suck a lot. I mean, they hit 300 and you suck 7 out of the other times, right? I mean, so I just told him, you guys have got to learn how to enjoy the suck because this is way better than having a real job. It's way better than having to wake up and put on a coat and tie or whatever it is that you're going to do and do that. I hope you're lucky enough to have my job or lucky enough to love your job like I do. But even my job has some tough days. And I've got a lot of tough days that are coming ahead here of trying to tell kids that they're not good enough to play here and being honest. And it's not easy. It's not easy looking at kids that give you everything every single day and tell them, look, the reality of this is you're welcome to stay here, but the chances of you playing here aren't good. And I'm the one who brought you here. So I suck. It's my fault. So those are the things that I have to go to bed with each night. But I love that. It's what it's what I signed up for. It's part of being on our team, on this team, on our school's team. It's all of that. So, as we started going through about 8 weeks back, we started kind of picking our kids off one at a time. I could see our mentalities starting to really change, and we continued to win. It's not like we weren't winning games. We've won a ton of games, and that's the bottom line. But there is, in a coach's eye, there's a certain way that you always want to win. You want to win when it just everything looks great. But as we started to really free some of these kids up, and really not they freed themselves up by facing some fears and facing some things that it's going to end. No, I mean, even if you don't want it to, this is going to end. And from that point on, this team has really just taken off and started to really improve offensively. We've continued to pitch very, very well. We've continued to play pretty good catch, played really good in the conference when it really counts. And now they've put themselves in a spot that that we've been in before, but not like this. It's a different spot. We have a legitimate chance to win. And I don't know that we've had that in the past. We've had to, we in the past, when we put ourselves into this place, we would have had to play perfect and they would have had to play not perfect. And it's not the case here. They're really good. Got a lot of respect for them. But we know we don't have to play perfect to win this. And that's the cool thing. I've been telling our kids all week long that they've got something that we want. And I don't think that they're going to hand this thing over. So you better be ready for a backyard fight. And, I said, I think I'd like to beat them by a death of 1,000 cuts. Let's just keep cutting them one at a time. Let's just keep having quality at bats. Let's just keep pounding the strike zone. They're really good. They beat you by intimidation. They beat you by bullying you around, and they've earned that. So I'm not mad at them for it, but I'm tired of it. And I'm 0-14 against OU, in case anybody didn't know. And I'll be honest, I'm tired of it. And I think I've taken a little different approach with this group too. I've always taken maybe a different approach because of my history at OU. Bedlam is not, up until this year, I haven't maybe put as much importance on it as I should. I've tried to kind of downplay it, but it hasn't worked. 0-14, in case you didn't know that. So I've been telling our kids this whole week, we've kept everything the exact same. The preparation's been the exact same. There's no need to change that. If you're changing your prep now, you're in a bad place. So we prepare like champions every single day. Our girls lifted weights this morning, had finals. We've already had our practice. We got more of them in finals now. So nothing's changed. We're in our regular schedule. But I think that one thing that changed is just me making sure that they understand what Bedlam means and what it means to all of you, what it means to our other teams here, what it means to our community, to our state. And that's what I've really tried to emphasize to these kids, is let's just make sure we're taking a lot of pride in that. And these teams take on the identity of the head coach, and so if we're going to beat those guys, their head coach has got to act like that too, and make it a big deal. And so that's kind of been the mission all week once we got through sweeping the Longhorns. So just real excited about being here, real excited about this weekend. I feel great about our team. I think we've got one of the best teams in the country. If you don't know that, come watch us play or watch it on TV. These girls are really good, and they just may be one of the best teams we've ever had here in our history. But it's up to them to make sure that they play like that and all that. So excited about the opportunity that they have put themselves in. I think that's the coolest thing. They've earned this, and can't wait to go watch them play. With that being said, I want to open it up to some questions about our team and program and see what we can do.
What's your record right
The question was, what's our record right now? I think I'm saying that for the people on Zoom. Our record right now is 39-6, I think. So, we go anywhere from I think 6 to 9 is where we're at right now. And the real ranking is what's called the RPI, and we're number 8 in that. And OU is 7 in that, which is a weird deal. The RPI is a weird thing. They should be 1 or 2 in my mind. But we have both. They've actually played a worse schedule than we played. We usually both play really good schedules, but COVID has blown our schedule up. We were probably 10 of our best games were canceled because of teams that wouldn't play or that couldn't play at the time. So if you're a top 8 seed or you're a top 8 RPI, you usually are in line to host a regional and super as well. So that would be a big deal. We've never hosted a super here. And we had a regional here in 19 that went great. Really in a great way. It exposed everything that we have here in a good and bad way. And it's really created some momentum here that we really need. Yeah.
So are you going to open it up this weekend some? Is that your understanding? I know that's been the rumor around.
Yeah, I think what we've been told for the last month is President Hargis wanted to wait until graduation's done. So who's listening to this? The question is, are we going to open the stadium up? Friday will be not fully open. Although there's a rumor out there that they've yet to quit selling the standing room seats. So if you want to come, I just show up, you'll get in. And then Saturday, I've kind of heard mixed. I'm hopeful that graduation is kind of like done, because I can think that the last one is at 7 o'clock. So maybe at 7, they could just open it up. We play at 6, or no, we play at 3 then. So that game changed. So we'll see what happens there, but Sundays will be wide open. So, and hopefully it's already done. We've already clinched and we're just having fun and all that kind of stuff. But if not, we'll make that Sunday game crazy here, Bedlam. So.
Coach, assuming you sweep OU this weekend, what would your record be against them this year?
3-0. Yeah. And that's all that really counts, right? It's a new streak. And that's what I told our kids. And we've been talking about that. I said, hey, don't get caught up in the past. You only thing that you can control what's in front of you here today. And that's the beauty of our game too. It's the beauty of baseball and softball both, is that we get to play a lot. We don't get to play one day a week and then have to listen to all these armchair quarterbacks tell us what we did right and wrong all week long. And that's all right. We're all fans. So the beauty of this is, we get to play tomorrow night, and then we're back at it on Saturday, and then we're back at it on Sunday at 11. So it's going to happen fast. It's going to happen fast.
So, Coach, I realize this weekend's probably the most important thing to talk about. I don't not intentionally trying to get ahead, but at one point in time, it's crazy past year, there was talk that the NCAA was considering that for our new Hall of Fame stadium, marvelous as that is, that they because of COVID and everything with the transgender issues, they might not have the World Series. Is there anything you have any comment about? Is it still potential?
Well, I think the question is the transgender question and the bill and all that kind of stuff that's gone through. I don't really have a whole lot to. That's so out of my control. I think it was talked about. The NCAA kind of brought it out when said, hey, if this bill passes in this state, that they could potentially pull all NCAA events. I don't even know how to answer that, because it's so far out of our hands, and control. I don't really have an opinion on it. It would probably wouldn't help me if I gave you one of those to anyone. So I'll just leave it alone. But it would be a shame either way. Oklahoma City's done an amazing job. I don't know if any of you have seen the stadium since last year. It's got a new second deck on it, more concessions and bathrooms. We got to play there earlier this year and didn't play well. So we'll get a chance to play there next week in the tournament. The Big 12 is played there, so we'll get a chance to play there again. So that'll be great, and we'll see where all that goes. But if something like that happened, it's not for this year. It would be in years to come. I've heard that thing would take a while to get passed anyways, but again, I'm not a government official and don't know how all that stuff works and everything, but I heard that could take years to pass or not pass or to do anything. So I think for us, it's just focusing on what's in our program and all that. So it's a good question though, because it's real.
So I know you've been outspoken about a new stadium and those kind of things. Has that got some momentum?
Yeah, talking about a new stadium. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people who were picking at me and I think trying to get me to be upset when O'Brate was built. And I just sat back and laughed and said, I can't wait to see what they have to build for us now. So I wasn't worried at all. I wasn't even mad. I was happy for those guys. And now we can find out everything that they screwed up there and build a better one here, right? Because you always have got to learn from everything. And no matter how good you build stuff, there's always things that pop up, like a sewer line that won't drain uphill. So anyways, crazy stuff. But we're gonna get a new stadium. I don't have any doubts about that. I think it'll probably happen faster than what anybody could imagine. Our new president, Dr. Shrum, is one of my personal friends. Female, loves softball, been coming to softball games for a lot of years. She's kind of put a little bug into my ear that she's going to help us make this happen. And I think that's exciting stuff and just really cool. When they were talking about who would replace President Hargis, who's been phenomenal here, just completely changed this place and to the next level. And I think Casey's going to just keep going. And I'm just thankful that she'll lead us. I think it's for a coach who coaches female athletes. I told our kids, I said, I don't think you guys understand the impact that this is going to have on female athletes, and it should have an impact on the male athletes too. It's just a really cool thing, and we've got a lot of momentum. We're in a quandary right now. We really need some things at our stadium, but it's like, and we know that we need to rebuild. So it's like, do you invest $1.5 million in a new field and fence right now and, hold you over? Or do you just keep putting that into the kitty to build? It's going to take us about 30 million to build a new field, which is not an easy deal. But our job as coaches and our team is just to keep building that dream, and that's what Coach Holder did at Karsten Creek. That's what we did over at O'Brate. That's what they've done at our tennis and soccer, and everything that we've got here is just, when it's being built now, it's being built right. And I don't want to settle for anything less. I don't want to settle for our kids, for myself. I've had some opportunities to leave here, and probably one of the perceived best jobs in the country. And it wasn't even hard to say no. It was hard for a moment thinking about the money, but when you really, at my age now, almost 50, it wasn't even hard, because I know what I have here, and I know the support I have here, and I know what the runway's like here. I know what the expectations are here. I know that my job is not only to win softball games. My job is to create the best 4 years of these kids' lives. And when you're really focused on that, and when you're really focused on making sure that those kids are good each day, winning is just a byproduct of all that. And maybe it's because I'm a little older now. Maybe it's because I've won some championships as a player, as a assistant coach. I've been around some amazing coaches, some that make us cringe here, in a Bob Stoops and a Patty Gasso, but they did some really good. They did some really nice things at their schools, and I was able to watch that. And Tim Walton, being able to be a part of his staff and watch that, and I've just been lucky. So I'm just like a product of all these people, and take the things that I think I can do best. And when you do that stuff, and you start to build a different culture here, and it just takes off into what can be done here. And I think we'll have the best stadium in the country. Like O'Brate, it's not the biggest, but it's the best for development and for making those guys experience the best 4 years of their entire life. And that's the bottom line. Yes, sir.
I just want to say that because he and I have both the same chiropractor, I occasionally show up at the office when Carrie Everly's there, and just tell you what a great young lady he is, and how well she represents your team in our school. How much we appreciate it. It's great.
Well, that's great. She is a great kid, and very, very smart. I try not to get into a lot of deep conversations with her because she'll make you look dumb fast. So I try to keep it very, very low. But Carrie is a kid that, I take a lot of pride in the fact that she was good before she got here. We didn't help her with softball. I think what we've helped her with is off the field and being a better teammate and being a better person. Not like she was doing bad things, but just learning how to really treat people. And I think that's what we talk about. We talk about team, you talk about teammates, and I always tell kids, when you invest $1, you usually get 2 back. With me, that's how it works. I'm not sure it works at the bank like that always, but at least with me, all you guys that are bankers here, I wish you could make it work like that. But I tell these girls all the time, if you'll invest $1 in me, I'll give you 2 back. And I don't mean that in money sense, but I'll give you double back. And I tell her, you need your teammates. You cannot win without your teammates. Impossible. And when you go out to the mound and you're pitching, if you've invested in all of these kids, especially those kids who don't play, because they're intimidated by you, they want what you have, but are kind of afraid at times to take it, or to figure out how to take it, or how to get it, or how to be like you. If you'll really invest in these kids, you'll be amazed on how you feel when you walk out there every single day. It's like a breeze that's like filling you up and raising you up as you go along. And I take a lot of pride in watching her. I sat out there today and she was talking to Avery Hobson, who's a left fielder, maybe the fastest kid on our team, that got some at-bats early, that hasn't been playing a whole bunch. He's got a knee that's going to need surgery when the season's over. It'd be really, really easy to pack it in. And I saw her talking to her for about a half an hour today as we were hitting. And I was just like, this is really cool, because Carrie's investing in somebody who's not even playing, sitting there talking to this kid. And that conversation at some point is going to pay off for Avery. And Avery in turn will take that and do the same thing back. And that's what good cultures do. And that's what good teams do. And that's what good teammates do. All right. Thank you, guys.
Coach, we appreciate you being here with us today and for giving us the program. We wish you the best of luck this weekend, not that you're going to need it, and with the rest of the season. Stillwater Frontier Rotary supports literacy, so we'll be donating a book in your honor to the Stillwater Public Library. And if there's nothing further, we are going to have a stand-up board meeting after this. So if you're